when we were younger, remember Kevin and Perry?
Yeah.
We used to watch that soundtrack, and like Kevin and Perry, they were one up from what we were
Big
at that
girls,
age. You know what I mean?
girls,
Like,
yeah.
like people watch that, like, look at them, pair of dogs. We thought they were idols.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh well, we'll go to Ibiza. Worst thing we ever did was go to Ibiza when we were 17, 18. Because you should go when you're about in your 20s at least. You should be going to like Zante, Mali, and that when you're younger.
Yeah.
We made the mistake. Went
Too
to Ibiza.
hardcore.
We had dress pants on, dress shoes, dress shirts, big collars on them, and stuff like that.
Oh.
Went to Ibiza.
Remember the
Big white collars.
the huge massive collars like the
Ben Sherman, cat jeans, the lot. So you have to have 7 outfits because you're there 7 days. So you had 7 of these outfits. Your suitcase weighed a ton. And I can remember we got there, and this was before the internet, really.
Yeah.
Like, it was there, but it wasn't. No one was really using it. And we'd heard like phone parties because you used to watch like a beef on cover and stuff like that. A lad who
Club 18 to 30 and all that.
Lad we went with was like, phone parties where you want to go? Like, oh yeah, we'll go to a phone party. Apparently that's where lads and women and that go, oh, we'll go to a phone party. And we're walking up that strip, and the PRs are like, what, mate, how you doing? Like, and they're seeing 7 lads or 6 lads from Cumbria, never been out of Cumbria in their life. And it was just sort of like, where do you want to go? We're like, phone party. I've only got 6 tickets left. And we were like,
we'll take them all.
We'll take them. There's 6 of us. I can't believe it. Like, that sort of crack. And they were going, oh, they're not cheap. They were going, we pay anything like that. We ended up paying like 70 quid for these tickets to this phone party. We're like, how lucky were we? The last 6 tickets like that. And we had to go behind Mambo to get picked up by this bus.
Yeah.
And we were sat there like, this is going to be class, this isn't it? Ooh, like that. We only had about 15 euros each, like that. Like, spent all our money on this ticket. Got on the bus, and everyone on the bus was dressed in like leather and like weird, like, I don't know, different sort of outfits for us. And we're like looking around going, there isn't one bird on this bus.
Just 6 lads and a 55-year-old couple from Scunthorpe or something like that.
Just really older fellas and a group of 6 lads like this. The ticket was La Troya or something like that it was called.
Right.
And we sat there, we're like, there's no women on this bus. And we were like, what they'll do, they'll have buses for women and buses for men. And when they get in the form, it's going to be epic.
It's all going to go off.
Yeah, and that's what we convinced ourselves. We sat there like, oh, that's what's going to happen, isn't it? Like San Miguel bottle like that in our hand because we afford one each. Got amnesia. What is that? Like, weird, isn't it? Still haven't seen a woman. Walked in, got in there. There was fellas on podiums dancing in underpants and stuff like that. We're like, hey, look at them naked fellas up there.
Decent movers, like.
Well, they're all right. And then we were like going to the toilet, like thinking, what are middle-aged guys in chaps and stuff like that? And it still hadn't clicked on.
I can see where this is going.
Got on the dance floor. It's the biggest foam gun in Europe, apparently.
I bet it was.
We sat there looking at it, and thought, God, that'll knock you off your feet. And because we were that brand new, we just stood there with a bottle, like, looking up at this gun. They were like, oh, this foam gun will go off in, like, they're going to do a countdown. We still sat there, and we're like, have you seen all them fellas? I wonder where the female strippers down. We're like, have you seen a woman yet? And then there was the fellas with bottles of champagne, just sort of doing that with the champagne off the balconies, like...
Doing what, sorry? Just
sort of, you know...
Just wanking it off.
Yeah, and then a fella sat on the cannon like that, you know, sat at it and started doing the same with the cannon. And we all just looked at him and went, it's definitely a gay foam party, isn't it? The foam come out, knocked me right off my feet, knocked Gavin and everyone, shit names again.
It's fine. Like, they don't care. They don't
knocked
care.
Gavin off his feet. We just hit the deck, and if you've been in one of them proper foam, you can't breathe. I was like, oh, it was like the start of Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, like just panic, everything was going off. Oh my God. Like we went there to meet women.
Sure.
And I thought, what have these fellas come to?
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my God. And then I at the time I was quite fast, so I just legged it as fast as I could in a direction, just bumping people off. And I just legged it out the foam. Gavin come quite quickly after me, a little bit slower. And then poor
Pearson.
He was a bit...
I knew that's who you were going to say.
He was a bit slower, and he had a look on his face like he'd seen a ghost, like, get out for you now, like that. And
I could just come back from Nam.
It was like Postmatic Express. Yeah. And what we did, we just ran through a fire door because we were just that panicked. Yeah. Like we couldn't go out the front door anymore. It's the whole thing. Ran through a fire door, but no taxis would take us because we were still full of foam. So we ended up getting this guy who just said okay. But I just thought, I don't know. Be fair, when you were 18, it was a mistake.
Yeah. No, I mean, like to be honest with you, I think going on holiday I was 17 when the first one I went on, like with Kegs, and we went to Magaluf, and even that was too much for us. Like we managed to do like 1 or 2 nights, but we were the exact same thing. Like we were going to what was the big BCM? BCM was the big club in Magaluf, and I remember going there. So obviously we're 17. Like we're fucking like full of like fucking let's go on of it. and all that. And I remember we got to BCM at about 8:30 at night, and we were just like standing there like till about 11 o'clock going, it's dead in here, isn't it? And then we left, and then we were in bed for like 1 a.m, like in Magaluf, like because obviously like you're too immature, you're too inexperienced, you don't know that people don't start getting ready till 1 o'clock at night in the morning, those kind of places. Yeah, because I think it's one of those, isn't it, as well? Obviously, when you're going on nights out, like local, especially up in Cumbria, because it's so secluded. Like, don't get me wrong, I know things happen there, but obviously it's not like big city life. So then when you go to somewhere like Ibiza, you get introduced to it's almost a whole new world, isn't it? Like, so you get people going up to you. Like, I mean, let's be honest, we've been to Ibiza together. The amount of drugs that you offer. I mean, you can't walk 10 yards without being offered drugs.
The best thing to say to them people in Ibiza is just to say, all right, mate, do you want any Charlie? Something like that. Just say, have you got any heroin? And it just kills the conversation stone dead. They're like, no, and you're like, got yourself a drug deal. And then you just walk on. That's the only way I've found over the years to get rid of people asking you for drugs. Go to something really high, like, have you got any crocodile, heroin? And then just end the conversation. They feel like an idiot.
Any spice?
That's what I mean, I got any spice. Not like that. But you talk about going away when you're not from from a rural area. Our mate, who's a farmer, one of the worst things I've one of the worst things I've ever witnessed is we went to Manumission, this like big club night back in the day. It was huge, thousands of people there, and what everyone used to do was wait for the buses to come. Right. So it's like, I don't know how many thousands of people there were. It was me and Eaton running a laugh like always. A rat. Honestly, the rat must have been that big. It was running up the road, and you could hear like all these southern people go,
squeals.
Oh my God, have you seen that rat? Oh, like that, and everyone's like, oh, there's a rat there. I didn't even look. I looked. Eaton ran after it. I thought, is he running after that rat? And like he shot off, like just absolutely legging off this rat. Stood on its tail, and as he stood on its tail, like flipped back, so it landed on his foot, and he just threw it right up in the air, like kicked it. I'd say about 50 feet up in the air, and everyone's just watching, landed, and it was like a bit like something wrong with it, and I was just watching like, I can't believe this is what I'm looking at. And then he just stood on its head, like you could hear you could hear the crunch of its head, and you're like, I was like that, and all you could hear was all these summers go, oh my God, that guy's just killed a rat, like people screaming. Eaton was there, Nicey is just like, guys, it's vermin, guys. I thought, I've got a feeling we're not pulling on this holiday. It's just...
Oh, sweet Jesus.